told me that.
agenda for next month to be appointed.
They told me that back before Christmas of last year.
Yeah, but see, it's all staggered, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Staggered, just the third.
Because I had the 1 year, and then I got renewed. Now, from that point on.
Right, because you took over for Reed.
No, I took over for Jack.
Oh, for Jack.
Yeah.
Well, hi.
Okay, that works, I got it. 'cause I
When did you
was-
start,
I
Jeff?
Just do a top fee.
He took over.
Just get me back on the first tee, huh?
Did you see that?
A couple years ago.
Jeff was just telling us how excited he is about being on the board.
He said, hell, I don't know.
I asked him when he
You really
started.
kind of growled it.
It must be the pay.
I figure if I talk low enough, this thing doesn't pick it up.
Get to 12.
We can turn that off.
Yeah,
Now that we're on TV, I can't rush it.
Yeah.
true.
I'm sure they'll edit my remarks.
Yes, we're all on TV. It reminded me of the Nixon-Kennedy debate. Remember that?
I don't.
If you heard it on radio, Nixon won. If you watched it on TV, Kennedy won.
All right. Is this the famous sweating lip
No,
thing?
there was no makeup.
Oh.
He had this huge 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock shadow,
shadow.
yeah.
He refused to put on makeup. And they think that was just enough to make that, he lost by 1 vote of precinct in the United States. They thought it was just because he didn't have makeup on.
That's
Now
close.
we're on TV, we should have makeup. We didn't.
Makes you think we don't.
need it.
Ariel has to have makeup or she's not gonna show up.
As long as my hair's done, I'm happy.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the October 22nd Warsaw Board of Zoning Appeals. This is one of the more full agendas I've seen in a while. Approval of the September 24th minutes.
I've read the minutes. If there are no questions or comments, I'd move to approve.
Second.
Moved. Second and down. All those in favor?
Aye.
Unfinished business, any unfinished business? No, I didn't think so. Just want to make sure the minutes were, or the agenda was correct. New business, 2018-10-01, use of variance at 1202 East Winona Avenue, Ryan Motors. Here it is, you can present the facts.
Applicant is Ryan Motors. The purpose is to allow auto sales in a C2 zoning district at 1202 East Winona Avenue. The petitioner is requesting a use variance to allow an auto sales shop to be located within a C2 zoning district. The property is located at 1202 East Winona Avenue. The surrounding buildings have commercial uses. The petitioner has been operating his auto sales business at another site and is looking to expand the business at this location with no intention to increase impervious surface area on the lot and is currently utilizing the garage within the empty building for auto detailing purposes. During the hours of operation, Ryan Motors expects approximately 1 to 6 customers and is anticipated to have no more than 20 cars on the lot at a time. The recommendation of the planning board department has some concerns about maintaining clear sight lines for ingress and egress along Winona Avenue, as well as potential overcrowding of this lot. To mitigate these concerns, the planning department recommends that the board approve this request with the following conditions. The first is that any ingress and egress from Winona must be a minimum of 100 feet from the intersection of Bronson and Winona. And the second is that cars displayed along Winona Avenue cannot encroach onto the right-of-way. The last one is all other ordinances regarding auto sales must be repealed.
Thank you, Ariel. Before we open it to the public, any questions, comments?
Ed, were there any input from the letters or phone calls?
Well, that wasn't for, okay, I saw green cards come out. No. All right, with that, is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak in favor of this petition? And please state your name for, I think we have the press.
My name's Jerry Ryan.
Go ahead, sir.
Yes, I would like to get this property zoned for commercial use as a car lot.
And you heard the comments from planning. Did they talk to you about those as well before the meeting?
Not before the meeting, I just heard them now.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But I wouldn't have any problem
I was
with
going to
it.
say, well, now that
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you're okay
That
with
wouldn't be
all
an
of those
issue.
conditions?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any other questions for, concerns on?
You say you're in the business now, you have another lot somewhere else?
Yes,
Okay, okay.
Where's your current location, please?
it's at 408 Detroit Street.
Okay.
Right there across from Tripp's office.
I'm sorry?
Right there beside Tripp's office.
Okay.
From where?
Tripp's, right there.
Oh, yeah, okay,
Corner of
okay. Yeah, I know where that's at.
It's on the corner of Winona and Detroit.
Yep, I know where that's at.
You've got to be running out of room.
I am.
Yep.
Is Jim Shipley still a partner with you?
No.
No.
He
Okay,
retired.
is there any other questions? Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you.
Is there anyone in the audience who would like to oppose this petition? With that, we'll close it to the public. Any other thoughts, comments, concerns?
I have
He's gonna agree to
concerns
everything.
about the 20 cars on that lot and if there's room.
Well, he said up to, that was including the cars that he has and the potential customers at one time, they should be capped.
Should be okay.
All right. With that,
I don't have the paperwork to read off the 3 conditions, so one of you may have to do it.
the ingress, visual for car safety and travel. I think it was, it boiled down to
Ingress
don't
and
block
egress?
the visual for the traffic. I will know that.
Well, I would make a motion to approve this request along with the conditions recommended by the city about ingress, egress, not encroaching on the right-of-way, and all other ordinances being complied with.
So the 3 conditions, so moved.
Second.
Second to Jeff, all those in favor?
Aye.
That motion passes. 2018-1002, Development Standards, Sheldon and Petro, Fires Engineering, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Before you get up, sir, any comments or questions from the zoning board? Concerns? Okay,
She hadn't said anything yet to have concerns about.
I'm sorry, Ariel.
The petitioner has requested a variance from development standards to reduce the front yard setback to 20 feet to construct a Fairfield Inn Hotel at Sheldon Street. The parcel that the petitioner wishes to build on is flanked by 2 public roads. The city's ordinance considers lots with this configuration to have 2 front yards. The intention of this ordinance is to maintain uniformity and aesthetics throughout a development. Corner lots in residential areas are permitted to have side yard setbacks that are 10 feet less than the front yard setbacks. Our current ordinance does not make this provision for commercial districts. While there are good reasons for this ordinance, it can sometimes create unnecessary limitations on the buildable area available to developers. The recommendations are based on the information provided. It's in the opinion of the planning department that this case could be viewed favorably when measured by the criteria explained within the finding of facts. I'm done.
Thank you, Ariel. Now that Ariel's given her comments.
Well, my usual question, was there any input from the letters or phone calls?
Clear.
Any other questions? Now you can speak. And you're still in favor, right? We're going to do favor.
Yes, sir.
first.
Yes, sir. My name is Rusty Spires, and I'm with Spires Engineering. I represent Ascent Hospitality Management out of Beaufort, Georgia, and they're trying to build a beautiful Fairfield Inn. Do you have a color rendering, or just got a
No.
black and white elevation?
Boy, that's nice.
I brought 2. Can I give you these 2? It's really pretty building.
Have you seen this yet, Ariel?
Just pass it on down after I've seen it.
Yeah. It's flashy.
Put some hotel rooms on it, send it down.
Gonna face south.
Oh, the address
You just-
Yes, sir.
was
Sheldon.
Sheldon Street? That's good.
We did,
Here's
yeah.
the Nissan.
Okay, I think we've all had a chance to look at the beautiful hotel.
It's a great location, beautiful hotel. It just doesn't quite fit on the site with the setbacks as they are. And so for a little portion of it, we need a 5-foot concession on the west side so that we can get adequate circulation, vehicular circulation around the building. Apart from that we can't get traffic around the backside of the building, and Marriott would veto it. So your suggestion is appreciated.
Well, Do I ask you, or you, have you looked at the overall plan as far as aesthetics, grounds and that sort of thing? I mean, is it still kind of a nice aesthetic look if we do this?
Nissan.
There's no compromise in your opinion?
Isn't it? Yeah, let's sort this out. Yeah, there's a big.
Yeah, the overall site plan is. Is that me or is that, okay. Oh, that's the mic up there. You can see it's not really going to affect, visually, as you're driving up the road, you wouldn't notice that 5 feet. They would still have to comply with the landscaping ordinance. There's plenty of room there to still
Okay.
add plants.
I didn't want to see something like landscaping getting thrown out because they didn't have the room.
No, they still have plenty of room to accommodate.
Yeah.
Instead of 25, they want 20.
Yeah, but he's telling me it's not going to affect any
That's doable.
bushes or whatever else.
Yeah, it's on the west side, so you can see they have enough room for the sidewalk over there and some landscaping, so.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Thanks, Justin. Any other questions, comments? I think you can stand down, sir. Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience who'd like to speak in opposition to this petition? With that, we'll close the meeting to the public. Anyone have a huge issue with knocking 5 feet off the west side of that? I don't think so.
I make a motion, we approve it, just as recommended.
I'll second that.
Sandy seconds it. All those in favor?
Aye.
That motion passes. Thank you. Ariel, 2018-1003, Development Standards 1015, Country Club Lane. Doug Brumfield, please give us the facts.
The petitioner is seeking a 2-foot 3-inch variance from side yard setback and a 4-foot variance from lakefront setback. The petitioner wishes to construct a wooden deck onto the lake house for leisure purposes. The property is in the part of town characterized by lake cottages, many of which are non-conforming with existing setback regulations. The majority of the homes within the immediate area do not meet the required setbacks. Density is desirable in this area, and addition to homes should be encouraged to maintain value in a competitive market. The maximization of space should be prioritized over preservation of aesthetics, and since homes in this area generally do not meet setback requirements, uniformity is not a goal. Variance from aesthetic requirements will not have a negative effect on nearby properties. The recommendation is there is some concern with fire safety when allowing residents to encroach on property lines. The planning department recommends that the board approve the 4-foot variance for the lakefront setback and a 2-foot variance from the side yard setback instead of the requested 2-foot 3 inches. There is a precedent for allowing 5-foot side yard setbacks in R1 zoning districts. However, we do not think it is advisable to create a side yard setback that is less than 5 feet within an R1 zoning district. Based on the information provided and the findings of facts, it is my recommendation that the board could reasonably provide a positive finding of fact in order to grant approval for the requested variance from development standards.
Thank you, Ariel. Any questions before we open it to the public? I'm assuming he's gonna ask for cards. Any cards that come in?
No comments, the cards.
No
are being
comments, okay.
All right, very good. Any other questions, thoughts?
Can we have that motel drawing back?
You want this back, Jerry?
Yes,
I do.
Well, what if I want a copy?
I suppose you want to
charge for it, too.
If it was off of your printer, yes.
Yeah, thank you.
See ya.
Before we lose any more. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak on behalf of this petition? And your name?
Bobby Cousins.
Welcome.
Oh, it's her property.
Yeah, it's mine. Yeah, we added an addition on and we put a sliding patio door and we wanted to connect that deck to the existing deck that was already there.
And did you know about the 3-inch restriction?
No.
Not being allowed?
No, but thanks for asking.
And you're okay with that?
I'd rather have
You don't have a choice, but I
Right,
just wanted to
right.
know if you're okay with that.
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
Any questions? Comments, concerns? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone in the audience who would like to speak in opposition? Closed to the public. Well, it looks like she's going to deal with the 3 inches. The 2 and the 4 are already accepted, so with that,
I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve 2018-1003.
Second.
seconded by Dan, all those in favor?
Aye.
That passes as well. 2018, 1004, Development Standards
Tell Eric we smiled on him.
for 1005 Anchorage Road, professional permits.
There we go.
Ariel, do you have that case? Can you read us the facts, please?
The petitioner is seeking a variance from development standards to allow a 39-foot, 5-inch high, 210 square foot sign in a C3. The existing steel poles will be used, and the petitioner will be installing a new sign on top of the pole. Signs are typically grandfathered in, but because the sign hasn't been used in over a year, according to the ordinance, it requires a variance for them to use a sign that is considered existing non-conforming, such as this one. The proposed sign would not create a detrimental impact on visibility for passing motorists. The streetscape in this area features several large signs, including a billboard, so the impact on the existing aesthetics would be minimal. The proposed sign will be a 39-foot, 5-inch tall, that is 5.5 feet shorter than the existing sign. The sign face will remain the same. To give some perspective, the existing sign at Meyer is 35 feet tall. Based on the information provided and the findings of fact, it is in the Planning Department's recommendation that the board could provide approval for the requested variance from development standards.
Thank you, Ariel. Before we open to the public, questions, comments, concerns?
Is this a digital sign?
Is there somebody in the audience who might, yes, sir, can you answer that question for us?
Yes, it is.
A digital sign.
So it's gonna be doing what? Flashing?
It will not flash. It'll have to follow all of the,
Yeah, we need you at the mic,
No
apparently,
problem.
sorry about
I
that.
didn't know if it was open to the cup.
Well, I know, but
It
you were
will,
the only one that was going to answer that question.
yes, it will follow all of the ordinances for digital signage that the city has in place. So if it can't change every 10 seconds or whatever it is, I'm not familiar with what they are off the top of my head, but if they cannot change copy over a certain period of
Yeah, it
time.
has a cycling time frame.
Right.
Okay.
So why don't we get your name while we're doing?
Sure, my name is Gary Potts. I'm the owner of Professional Permits.
Okay.
So is there a dimming effect that goes into effect like after 8 o'clock at night?
It will be based upon usually those signs will follow either they'll have a photo cell that will auto dim, or it will set to come on and it'll follow the time for when sun sets. So it depends on the software, whatever they install.
Well,
So yes, to answer your yes is the answer to your question.
Will? Okay.
Yes.
Because I had a problem with the YMCA sign, and until I squawked about it, they finally dimmed it down at night because it was bright as could be.
Yeah, they have a lot more attractiveness. that
Well, it's a
way.
distraction to the people on the highway,
Yes,
so that's the only concern I have.
all right. Any other questions or concerns? All right, with that, thank you. We've covered the pro. Is there anyone who'd like to speak in opposition for this? Closed to the public. Other than your concerns, which I assume will be met, is that either one, the dimming process, I agree with. Is that in our ordinance? Is that one of the, I know you've got cycling time, but I can't remember if dimming was actually required.
I don't believe the dimming is necessarily written into the sign ordinance part, but flooding light onto adjacent properties is. Typically, we deal with that when they have to do a photometric plan for a new development's parking lot, but it could apply to signage as well. We really want to not flood residential areas with signage. We're a little bit less concerned with commercial areas, and obviously we don't want to distract traffic, and anything that hampers traffic is considered a violation for our sign. So if it was on 30 and creating, confusion, it would violate our sign ordinance, so.
Just as a sidebar, we probably should check, because I think that dimming should be part of that, if it's not.
Yeah, it should be.
My suggestion on that.
And most of the modern LED ones will do that because they become brighter in the day, so they have that functionality, but we can look at putting something in there.
It sounded like something we might have missed when we were doing that, and God, we had that signage thing going through for umpteen years, so.
Yeah, but again, there are measures in that ordinance that we can come in and request them to turn them down.
Turn the dim off. Very
But the
good.
way
Thank
it sounds is that, like in Dan's case, somebody has to complain about it before it happens, otherwise it doesn't happen automatically. Is that true?
Yeah, it's a little bit hard to, I mean, unless we go out there with one of those, you know,
Meters?
yeah, meters to measure, which, you know, that's a whole nother ball of wax, but, you know, how do you enforce that kind of thing? So.
Very good, thank you, Justin. Okay, I think I asked for opposition, and we didn't have any, so with that, other than that one condition, and I think we'll have, I think we've got Justin and Ariel will look into that to make sure that that's gonna be taken care of. Any other questions, comments, concerns?
No.
With that, you'd like
I'll
to
make a motion. We approve 2018-10-04.
So moved, seconded,
I'll second.
seconded by Rick, all those in favor?
Aye.
That carries, sir, thank you. Ariel, I think we're up for the last one, 2018-10-05 Development Standards of 106 Raymar Drive, Chad White. Can you give us the facts, please?
The petitioner has requested a variance to reduce the side yard setback from 7 feet to 5 feet to construct a carport. Additions to homes in this area should be encouraged to maintain value in a competitive market. R1 zoning districts are the most restrictive of the residential zoning districts. However, there's a precedent for allowing a 5-foot side yard setback in some cases throughout the city. There are several neighboring properties that have existing non-conforming front setbacks, so this request would not be out of character with the adjacent properties. Adding a carport will not impact the right-of-way and will not be injurious to public health or safety of the neighborhood. This variance request is in line with the intention of the comprehensive plan to maintain medium-density residential development in this area. Based on the information provided, it is the opinion of the planning department that this case could be viewed favorably when measured by the criteria explained within the finding of facts.
Thank you. Before we open to the public.
My usual question, there was no input from the public prior to this.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments, concerns? With that, we'll open to the public. Anyone here would like to speak in favor of?
That's a good sign. You know there's no opposition.
There's no opposition.
My name is Chad White, and like to get a variance for the carport. I mean, I'm gonna keep the roof line the same and everything, so.
What's my understanding, others have already done the same thing there. This sort of thing is occurring in the neighborhood, is that correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
and they don't, I mean, mine's gonna look nicer. Cause I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna keep the roof line the same. It's gonna be 3 posts in the ground. It's gonna have soffit ceiling. I mean, I don't know how much you wanna know.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. I think you can step down. I don't see anyone else here, so there won't be any opposition. With that, is there anyone willing to come up and speak in opposition? Closed. Okay, with that, any other concerns?
I guess it's back to me. If there are no other questions or concerns, I'd move to approve this request.
So moved, seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That motion passes. Carried forward. Thank you very much. Any other matters coming before the board? Ariel? No.
I move to dismiss.
Second,
We're in adjournment.
fourth, fifth.
Okay.
I think I screwed up one of these.
Oh, I just,
Well, mine ran backwards.
I did too.
Yeah,
I
they're all
did
in
too, so I
backwards,
kinda. I did.
No.
I did.
Initial it, cross it out.
Yeah, I'll take care of
Okay.
it. And then today. Thank you.
Yeah.
Kim, I think I'll
It just
set
makes me
time
look good, because I didn't mess with
Ariel
it.
and I to work together with you on
I'm always
the
for
board.
that.
How's that?
Okay.
So is the market for, there isn't much in the way of foreclosures in that anymore? Is that all kind of cleared out?
It's really slowed down.
Thanks for showing up.
Yeah.
No worries.
And the investors are snapping them up at the same, too. You know, the
Few
sheriff's.
there
I
are.
just wanted to print everything because I don't have it.
So, that's your director's
Interesting.
comments, so, that you're
So-
making. Got Freddie Mac over in Decatur, over there.
And then the agenda.
When I move out of my house, I'll be horizontal, people will be carrying me. That's kind of-
Decatur, it's a heck of a long way to
According to your
go.
wife, it would, she'd rather be moving out of there sooner than later.
Well, she's free to go anytime she wants. Oh, gosh. I'll help her pack. I'll see you on the first tee when she does.
That's bad, isn't it?
A beer, a six-pack, whatever you want.
We're gonna have beer at these meetings?
No, you missed the conversation, you're too late.
Yeah.